The bidding wars for the Washington Commanders have commenced. We are in the end game now, Washington Commanders Nation, as we got news earlier that the Josh Harris group, that includes Mitchell Rails and Irvin Magic Johnson, put in their final official bid for the team at a whopping $6 billion earlier this morning. Things are heating up. Remember that mystery bidder that we were told toured the facilities at Ashburn and at FedEx Field? The Greek Canadian, Mr. Steve Apostolopoulos. Say that name 3 times, I'll buy you a beer. Say it real fast. Apostolopoulos. He just put in an official bid, fully financed, also for the number of $6 billion. So the one thing we're going to be sure of at this point is Dan Snyder is about to cash the fuck out. He is about to take his money, take his ball, and leave. You thought the IMAX screen on his yacht was already crazy. He's really about to go nuts after he pays a lot of this debt that he owes. But two $6 billion offers have been reported today by, guess who? Adam Schefter, because that's always where this information was going to come from. This name, we would have never heard that it was involved in the conversation until last week when Adam Schefter reported it. When we found out Mitchell Rails joined Josh Harris's group, guess who reported it? Adam Schefter. We found out Magic Johnson was a part of the group. Adam Schefter. And now we find out again from Adam Schefter that Dan has two $6 billion bids on the table for the Washington Commanders. Greek Canadian billionaire businessman with a net worth of just under $4 billion. He got his angel investors lined up. He got his financial group, and his credit line is ready to go. $6 billion on the table. Officially, final offer. We're waiting to see who Daniel Snyder cracks the gavel for. And we're waiting on the last domino to drop. 4 names have been connected to ownership groups in Washington. Tillman Fertitta of the Houston Rockets officially took his name out of the bidding when we found out he's purchasing a casino. And JP Finley all but said he's out of the mix now after he purchased the casino or some shit yesterday. Steve Apostolopoulos, he was actually originally slated to be in the mix to buy the Charlotte Hornets from Michael Jordan. Took his name out of that hat and said, you know what? I want in on this Commanders shit. People said, oh, $4 billion. You don't have enough money to get in. These guys have pull. These guys have connection. And when you have $4 billion, you have the ability to put together an investment group to buy a football team worth $6 billion. He put it, slapped his cards on the table in the mix. Third investor group, the main one that we've been hearing the whole time, the guy who's been chasing it mercilessly after falling short at the finish line of purchasing the Denver Broncos. He had it. He put in his final offer, and the Waltons joined the fray, and he pulled out and said, you know what? I'm not doing this. Is he going to win this time? I think Josh Harris is very well. He's the front runner in this, but there's still this overarching cloud looking over this entire situation with an asterisk next to the name, and that is the name everybody's been expecting to either get in the mix or win this shit and shut it all down the second that he decides to drop his bid on the table. That is Amazon founder, CEO, Jeff Bezos. He has not come out and say he wants the team. He has not came out and say he didn't want the team. But just like we heard with Apostolopoulos, Harris, and Fertitta, he is bound by a non-disclosure with the league and Snyder during the process. We haven't heard anything from him. And if he was ever going to get in the mix to buy this team, now is the time. They are now reporting and releasing the financial details of these bids that are on the table. $6 billion from Apostolopoulos' group and Josh Harris's group. It's your turn now, Jeffy. If Bezos wants to get in the mix to buy this team, the time is now. We know what the number is. $6 billion. Dan can pick and choose. Someone can try to offer 6.1, 6.2, but I think these are their final offers. Is Bezos going to drop the hammer and come in and say 6.3, 6.5? Is that going to be enough to entice Snyder to sell to him? Because we were told that Snyder and his wife were reluctant to sell the team, Tim, but when it comes to big money shit like this, is your pride really worth not accepting $500 million to $1 billion additional than what's already been on the table for you? Not sure, but that's what we're waiting for. That is the last domino to drop. Fertitta is apparently out. Apostolopoulos, $6 billion on the table. Josh Harris, $6 billion on the table. Jeff Bezos is either right now saying, I never really wanted this team. I was just trying to get in the mix, you know. I was letting them use my name to drive up the price. Or he's Birdman hand rubbing, putting on a sinister pinky in the brain style smile with world domination on his face like, oh, $6 billion? That's it? That's all it's going to take? Okay. I'll send that over, guys. 6.5. Let me know. Let me know when I can have the team. And Adam Schefter says he expects the team sold by the NFL draft. The NFL draft is 30 days from now. We would love for the team to be sold by then. With the way that this news is coming out now, this is what we expected when they told us it was on the goal line. Oh, it's on the final stages. We're in the end game. My boy Zach in the group chat just sent me the Doctor Strange gif in Infinity War. Oh, no, in Endgame when he points to Tony Stark and he puts the one up. Like, there's one solution out of the 500 million ways that this could end. There's only one way that this shit can end for Jeff Bezos if he wants the team. He has to come in right now, strike while the iron's hot. All the money and all the details are out on the table. The two other known bidders have their shit out there. $6 billion. Jeff Bezos, if you want this football team, put 6.5, put 6.3, put 7. If not, our owner's either going to be one of these two gentlemen. And I'm cool with the ownership group of Josh Harris at this point. It checks so many boxes. I think that's the group. But it wouldn't surprise me if this Greek Canadian dude comes in and steals the team, because we always were thinking there has to be a candidate that's in the mix that we know nothing about, that we know zero about. I think the NFL wants the Harris group, but I also think the NFL, not all the owners, but the NFL in totality, they might want Bezos, but they might not want Bezos, because when they go to these owners' meetings, he's coming in with the clout and authority to sit next to Roger. He's different than every other character sitting at that table. Those guys are rich. Jeff Bezos is wealthy. He's worldwide, God money, FU money, wealthy. And ultimately, I think they would prefer to go with guys that are more like themselves, like the Harris group or Mr. Apostolopoulos. I can't even say the goddamn name. I've said it so many times in this video. Apostolopoulos. That is a mouthful of a last name, and I may be petulant for this. I don't want him to be the owner just because of what his name is. But honestly, I'm just kidding. Anybody that owns this football team walks in the door day one, a significant, substantial, and meteoric upgrade over Daniel Snyder. And that is not hyperbole, that is not exaggeration, and that is not me sizing it at all. $6 billion on the table by two different owners. It's your move now, Jeffy boy. As the news comes out, I'll be on this channel here to talk about it. Until then, hell to the Washington Commanders, baby. Deuces.